Okay, here we go. This is going to be a fun one. Sorry about the intro music not being in stereo. That's all part of the whole thing going on here. I'll get to that in a bit. Anyway, good to see everybody here in the chat. Thanks for joining. Hello and welcome. If you are new here, this is not going to be a normal live stream like I normally do, but do feel free to post questions in the chat anyway. And if you do want to make sure I see them on my screen, make sure you start the question with the letter Q, and that will just make it easier for me to see here. But otherwise, we're going to talk a little bit about copyright on YouTube and what happens when you get copyright content ID claims and how that can turn into a copyright strike. And I'm probably going to get pretty upset during the stream. So feel free to remind me at any point to just calm down and take a breath. Because that's going to be necessary. So, yes, thank you everybody for joining. So the deal with the audio during the intro, I was trying to get it so that when my computer plays audio into the stream, that sound is in stereo so that when I'm playing songs on the stream today, they sound good because they're in stereo. And apparently I slipped up somewhere in that, and the intro music is not played in the same way through the rest of the system audio. Anyway, long story short, audio routing is a nightmare, and I didn't check that one before I started the stream. I only had tested the actual music. So anyway, we're back in stereo now, and when I play songs on the computer, you will hear them in stereo, and it will be wonderful. Yes, there was in fact some yelling about this last night. Definitely adventure. So let's talk about what happened first. Let's talk about what happened. So I use for music for my live streams, I've gone through a couple of different services for where to get licensed music for streams. And it turns out they actually have very, very different terms of service, and it's absolutely worth looking into the terms of service of a service you're using before you are making a decision about what platform to use. So the one I've ended up using for now over a year, well over a year, is artlist.io. There is a link down below, affiliate link down below. You get a little bonus when you sign up. I get a little bonus. That's my only connection to them. Like, I pay them for a subscription. I don't have any other relationship with them. So so that's what I've been using for a while, and I chose them specifically because of their pretty generous terms, their licensing terms. And their license allows me, like the one person me, to use the music basically anywhere I want, anywhere I am doing things. So some of the other subscription platforms limit it to one YouTube channel or a YouTube channel and an Instagram channel, and you have to like tell them which are yours and which is the one you're going to be using it on, and then they will send claims to others. So the Artlist, on the other hand, lets you use it wherever you want for pretty much anything. There are some limits, and it is worth talking about those limits because that is part of this whole story. But they are very generous. They're one of the most generous licenses. So, for example, this is from their licensing page, and I have the unlimited plan. So it's unlimited downloads, unlimited social channels, which is a key one, which is why I use them in particular, because I'm publishing videos on more than just my own channel, right? I'm publishing them. I run other people's live streams. I run live streams for work. I use that music in the same places on a bunch of different channels. And as long as it's me producing it, it's fine. Now, I can't like let somebody else use it without me being involved in that production. That's not allowed. But if I'm doing the work, it's fine. Like, it even says like client work, right? And these are two important points as well. The songs in your videos are licensed forever. So that means you don't have to worry about having an active subscription. And this is the other part of that. The songs you download are yours to use forever. That means if I stop paying them for a subscription, I can still use whatever I have already downloaded. So as long as I've downloaded and got the little PDF license that says I've downloaded this song, I can then use it ongoing. So if I ever decide to stop paying them, then I can't download new songs, but any existing ones that I've been using, I can keep using. And for like edited YouTube videos, that's maybe not a big deal because you put it out once, it's done. But for live streams, or when I'm using this for background music or countdown music, I would like to be able to keep using that forever. And that's why I've chosen them. So, and you know, this also lets you use it for paid and promoted videos. Like there's no restrictions on this. So it's a very generous license. I like that a lot. And that is the reason I chose them. So, again, there's a link down below. Let me see if I can drop it in the chat here. Yeah, so I'll drop that link in the chat as well. So, okay. That's Artlist. That's some background about the licensing. Oh, I should mention the limit, the major limit on the license. So, and they actually have like, you know, really nice sort of plain English version of the license, which is really helpful instead of reading through the whole PDF. So, like here's an example. Your clients are covered, so I can create projects for my clients, but you know only I can do that, which is fine because that's what I'm doing. Here is what you can't do. I think you have to read the detailed terms of service to find out what you cannot do. So even this is like one of the nicest PDF licenses I've found, which it's really helpful. Okay, so in here. This is a key thing that a lot of people don't understand, but it's a pretty basic thing that you absolutely must understand if you're going to be getting into using music on YouTube or Twitch. This is a very important phrase. Having a license means using, not owning. You do not own it. You have not purchased it. You do not own the copyright. You do not own anything except a license to use it under these terms. Okay. So where is the detailed terms of use? That's supposed to be a link and it's not. Okay, back here, terms of use. There we go. So, okay, the thing that you cannot do is use these songs in non-video content. That is important. Where is that phrase? Is it here? This is the one I didn't have loaded up already, apparently. Okay, well, this kind of yes, here it is. Here it is. Artlist is made for people creating videos. Therefore, the assets can't be used as standalones, audio only, and or without being part of a video. Very important phrase here. This means you cannot use it as music for your audio only podcast. For example, it has to be synchronized with video. Okay. Fair. I totally get it. Their goal is to have music going along with videos. That's completely reasonable. I have no problem with that. Wonderful. Okay, so now that we're on the same page about the licenses, the problem. So yes, audio podcast is right out. Audio only podcast. Okay. So what happened? Well, last week on Lily's stream, which I run, and I'm behind the ATEM and doing the controls and camera switching and adding music and all that stuff. After that stream on last Sunday, that stream was flagged with a content ID claim. What does that mean? Okay, that means someone thinks that you have used music or video content that they own the rights to that you don't. So YouTube has a whole process for this, and they've had to put a lot of work into this. It's obviously changed a lot over the years. So the way it works right now, and I should pull up the documentation on YouTube because they actually have a reasonable documentation for this. What is a content ID claim? If you upload a video that contains copyright protected content, your video could get a content ID claim. So this is automated, first of all. So they automatically will scan videos and see if it matches anything in their library. And then they will send a notice to the person who owns the content saying, hey, this was found in this video. And I can actually show you what this looks like because I have access to the video version of these tools. I don't have access to the music artist label version, but I have access to this for videos. So if I go into my YouTube studio and go into this copyright tab, as someone who is in the partner program, I believe you only get access to this once you're in the partner program, I can see where YouTube has found some of my videos on other people's YouTube videos. And here's one, for example, that somebody was, I think it was I'm not going to play it because then I would be triggering a content ID claim for them. But I think it was like someone was just testing a stream and then just like let the video run for like a really long time and happened to be playing my video on their computer screen. So it matched it. You can see it only has 6 views, so I don't really care about it. But there were a couple other ones that have now been resolved and I archived them. But whenever I've like done a joint live stream with Curtis or John or Photo Joseph, then we will get content ID flags for each other because we all have the same content going to each other's channels, which is pretty funny. So I can just, ignore it. I can just say, here's Curtis's video. It matched 100% of my video. He has a copy of my video and he will see the same thing for mine. And over here, I can be like, okay, I'm just going to archive this. I'm going to ignore it. Or I could say, request video removal. I could send a takedown notice to him, right? So on the audio side, there's similar tools. I don't have access to that portal. It's a different portal. There's different tools, but it works very similarly. So they will get a list of matches and then someone sitting at a computer can decide to send a claim. And that is what happens when you get it flagged. So now if I go into my creator tools and go into the live section and say, okay, do I have any copyright claims against my videos? Sure enough, here's one that was claimed. So first, Lily's video was flagged like this, and then the next day mine was. And when this is not the first time I've gotten a claim, and I've already fought some and got them and won them, but this one was a new one to me, and this is why I got really mad about this. So let's take a look at what actually was claimed here, right? So see details. You can see what happens is there is no impact on your channel, first of all. The content ID claim, it does not affect your channel. This is not a copyright strike. That's important. You can have a video that sits there with a content ID claim and it'll just sit there and it will be not monetized on your channel, and instead ad revenue goes to the copyright owner. So right now, this live stream from a year ago is now collecting ad revenue for whoever has sent this copyright claim. Who sent the copyright claim? Here it is. Orchard Music. They are not making a good name for themselves right now. Orchard Music is the one with that is claiming to be the copyright owner of this track. They are the ones with the dashboard that they can use to flag this video. So if I don't do anything on this video, then it'll just sit here, no harm done. I just stop getting ad money for it. If I disagree with this, I can say, actually, dispute it. Do I have the rights to this content? Dispute. This is where it starts getting a little bit dirty because look at this. Look at this screen. Look at these nice big 3 buttons. And it's like, oh, choose one of these things. Oh, wait. The following are not valid reasons to dispute a content ID claim. I own a copy of the song. You don't actually own songs. You don't own them. You are always buying a license, even if you bought a CD. I'm not making money. That's not valid. I gave credit. That's not valid. My dispute isn't based on any of the reasons above. I would still like to dispute this content ID claim. And then you get a screen that says, why? Is it original content, license, copyright exception, public domain? In this case, I would choose license because I have a license to use this song. What is this song? Well, if we listen to it. Oh, why is it not playing in that screen? Let's go actually back to the actual video. Oh, it tabbed me out. So let's take a look at this. View on YouTube. It's in the countdown. What is happening to my computer? I don't know why YouTube is just not playing the song. Lovely. So anyway, it's the countdown music that I use in here. What does YouTube think it matched? This is where it gets dirty. So they think it matched a song called Outro by some Michael character. So the frustrating thing is they don't even like link to it. There's no, you have to start searching. So I was like, okay, what is this? I go to YouTube, search Outro by that guy, and sure enough, here is a song provided to YouTube by the Orchard Enterprises. Here's a confusing thing that I learned also. When you upload, when you create music, you can you get it put into the system, and it actually shows up like kind of like a YouTube video. Let's let me make sure I'm not gonna play the wrong thing here. Okay, so here is what it looks like on YouTube. This is like a YouTube video, right? It's got a URL, little video ID. It's just a static image. It's only audio, and this is basically so that it can get into the Content ID system. And if we play this song, okay, now my computer is just not cooperating with me. Is it playing for you or is it skipping for you? No, it's skipping. Why? Why is it doing that? I was testing this earlier and it was fine. Okay, my browser is just messed up. You're gonna have to just believe me. In fact, I can just send you this link and you can load it up and listen to it yourself. So, okay. Let me go. Yeah, I don't know why it's skipping. So, okay, let's. I blame Chrome, probably. I don't know, literally it was working right before this, so lovely. So okay, here is the link. Yeah, at least you won't get a claim for the skipping version of the track. I'm going to play the actual song in here because I'm that mad and I'm going to just let myself get another claim. So, okay. Yeah, hearing others saying that they have also used the song on a Content ID claim. So, what is that song? Why did Orchard Music send a copyright claim? Let me scroll through the chat here really quick. Okay, yeah, I was like skipping a step. Orchard and major labels have other companies that manage copyright issues, sure, but like Orchard is the one responsible for it. So the point is that there is a person behind a computer clicking that button before it shows up as an actual claim. So, okay. Where was I? I'm skipping ahead. Yeah, do it, play all the way through. So, first I saw this claim on Lily's video. That is, it was a brand new stream. It was last week's stream, and that is apparently not going to play for you. But it was also during the intro of the stream. So, okay, I saw that and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna email Artlist and they're gonna sort it out. And I was like, wait a second, okay, why is it getting flagged? Sometimes there's different ways that this can also go wrong, which is fascinating. But in this case, it's complete BS. So what happened is if we go back to this Michael, or there's actually a second one also. I think I have it in another tab. So there's two different, like I said, I've now got flagged for this in two different videos, actually three different videos. There's this version and there's this version. Both are called Outro. This is a comedy set that was published. I think there is a video version of it, so that's not necessarily against Artlist terms of service. They can buy a license to use Artlist songs. They can publish video versions of a comedy set and use it as the outro for the comedy set. What they can't then do is publish this song by itself as a track. That's not allowed. So what they did is there's this whole album. Let's see, I think I have the Apple album up. Here is what it looks like on Apple Music. Here's this guy's comedy set. Great, published February 2022. Here's an intro. Here's a couple of sketches. And then there's a 1 minute, 9 second song called Outro, which is that song with applause over the first 10 seconds of it. Now, I'm not going to play the applause because that is their own copyrighted applause, but I can play the rest of it. Let's see if this Chrome tab is cooperating. Nope. Chrome is just totally broken. So the outro is that song with applause over the first bit. So they have clearly made a mistake here, right? Because what they've done is they've taken an Artlist song, put it into a music platform, and now claiming that they are the copyright owners of the song and sending content ID claims to other people. Now, if I played any of these actual original tracks on my stream, that would not be okay, and I would rightfully get a content ID claim. But they can't claim to be the copyright owner of a song that they are not the copyright owner of. That's the problem. So, okay. Jason, thank you for the super chat. Thank you very much for the copyright legal fund. Yeah, thankfully, the Artlist lawyers are on top of this and they're working on it. Oh yeah, I printed out the emails that we got. Let me show you what this looks like. You get a very scarily worded email first saying a copyright owner, keyword owner, right? Using content ID has claimed some material in your video. Everything is just not cooperating with me today. Why did the overhead camera die? Video title. Okay, there's that live stream content outro claimed by the Orchard Music. And here is the second one for a different video. Outro claimed by the Orchard Music. Okay. You get that email and then you're like, okay, what do I do? Well, yeah, dispute it. And you're done, right? So Vinyl Vinny says, yeah, dispute it and done. I've disputed dozens of cases. Here is the problem. In most cases, the copyright owner or the purported copyright owner will be reasonable and look at the, they get a little thing in their dashboard saying someone disputed it. And then they can be like, oh, I agree that it was not a valid claim. They can also say, no, I do agree. I'm going to reject the dispute. And this is where the whole system is rigged, because as a YouTuber who is posting videos, I'm creating content on YouTube. I am part of the YouTube Partner Program, so I get paid by YouTube for the ad revenue that they put on top of the ads, and that's great. I'm helping YouTube make money, really, right? So it's not just me making money. YouTube's obviously making money too from me having content on YouTube. So where this goes wrong is, like, you may have noticed that when I started filing that dispute, let me see where that was. When I started that dispute process, I lost the tab. You could see that it was already kind of set up to put more of the suspicion by default on the creator. So, I go into my dashboard and it's like, you have a copyright claim. And then this is that screen where, I can agree and trim out the content, which is cool that they actually have that feature. But the dispute process starts out by sort of blaming me and assuming that I'm doing something wrong. And I have to go in here and say, okay, it's not based on that. It is a valid dispute. However, all that does is just send them a little flag, and then they get to click the button that says, actually, we disagree with the dispute. So, okay, normally this works out fine. And other times I've had to deal with this, it has just gone away because they've realized that they were wrong and they've removed the claim. What happens next? So if you agree with the claim, do nothing, you remove the claim content, share the revenue. If you disagree, you can dispute it. Cool. Now what happens? You dispute the content ID claim. Obviously, they have a bunch of things about, like, what is fair use, but this is very clear. I have a license from a platform for this song. Someone is incorrectly claiming to be the copyright owner of that song. So after you dispute, the copyright owner, which again, notice the wording here is not really, they're not necessarily the owner. They are claiming to be the owner at this point. So this language is already favoring them. It's assuming that you're wrong again as a creator. So this is why I have such a problem with this. They can release the claim, and if they are reasonable people, they will. They can also reinstate the claim. They can also take down the video. Or they can just, if they don't do anything, the claim will expire. Orchard Music, or whoever they've paid to handle copyright for them, has now clicked the button that says reinstate the claim. So they have actually, some person sat in front of their computer, saw outro, and saw a video that had the same song and said, no, actually, that is our song. We own the copyright to that. And they are wrong. They do not own the copyright to it. The artist who created it owns the copyright to it, and Artlist has a license to license it to other people. So, yeah, Curtis is here. Thanks for joining, Curtis. I hear all this. It doesn't seem right that the burden falls mainly on the video creator. I've had claims on music that I've legally licensed through MusicBed. Waste of time and frustration. Exactly. So, my problem with this is how much the whole system tries to fault the creators and assumes that the copyright owners are acting in good faith, which is not true. And there's a bunch of different ways that this fails. And in this case, it's not even a question. Like, it's very clear cut. There is some other, like, a lot of gray area in other situations. One of the other claims that I dealt with was a musician created two songs that sound very similar and put it on two different music licensing platforms. The problem was that he actually used the same, like, drum and bass sort of backing track and then put different melodies on top. So it was sort of the same song, but sort of not the same song. Like, you could very clearly hear that it had the same underlying track, and that's how the Content ID works, is it'll match rhythms and pitches and stuff. So it was matching against the other song. And that one was a case of an artist trying to get the most for the work they've put into creating the music, which is, I understand that, right? Like, you put a lot of work into creating all this music. You want to maximize what you get out of it, so you make small variations to it and put it on different platforms. You often can't publish your song on multiple, like the same song on multiple of these platforms. They often have exclusivity clauses. I don't know about Artlist, but that is very common in these. And that's a different story, right? And that one's a lot trickier to judge. But I did, I got that resolved. Artlist was able to get that one cleared. But this is a whole different story. This is like a very large label that's producing comedy shows for multiple comedians using the same song that they've licensed and then put it onto Apple Music and YouTube Music, and now are claiming to be the copyright owner of that music, which is not correct. Okay, I do need to take a breath here. Okay, thank you for the super chats, Tech Condo. If my buddy is Jason is starting helping out. I got to follow. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. Okay. And yeah, there's more here. Thank you, Gert, for the super chat. Not the sponsor of coffee, but for a cool down drink. Thank you. I did actually pour myself a little bit of whiskey, actually a Boulevardier this morning, thanks to the poll I ran on Instagram. That one won out over bubbly. Maybe we'll break out the bubbly after I get the claim removed. And another one, Agent Varix, thank you for the super chat. Here's a small calm down reminder for you, even if you currently do not need it. Okay. So, the... it's 10:30. It's 10:30 here. It's 5 p.m. somewhere. Whatever. This is turning into getting lit while fighting copyright criminals. Yes. Okay. So. Where was I? Okay, so in the meantime, I've kind of laid out my options here, right? Like I have not done anything on mine. I did submit a dispute on one of Lily's videos. They've then rejected the dispute. In the meantime, I have also been talking with Artlist support, because that's the first thing I did was I emailed Artlist and I said, hey, I got a copyright claim that is incorrect on this song. Here's the link. Here's the claim. They were like, cool, we're going to look into it. I've had very good experience with them in the past, and I definitely, appreciate them being able to look into it, and they have the tools in the back end that I don't have for fighting this. So I've emailed them, and they were like, yeah, we're looking into it. And in the meantime, I got a second one, and I got a third one, and I kept sending them to them. And I'm like, okay, clearly I'm not the only one getting these claims for this song, because a lot of people probably use this song. I'm not the only one that uses the song, clearly. So I'm assuming that they're getting tons of emails from people. And if you have used that song, please also email Artlist and say, hey, I got a dispute, a content ID claim on it. From what I read from the YouTube terms on this, the best thing to do is to essentially just wait, because again, if I dispute, they get an option to come back and say, actually take down your video, or they can disagree with my dispute. And I have no recourse after that. There's an appeal process, but the appeal process is just the same thing again. So there's 3 stages to it. They send the content ID, I can dispute, they can reject my dispute, I can appeal it, and then they can reject my appeal. And if they reject the appeal, then I get a copyright strike, which is the actual bad one, because if you get 3 strikes, then first of all, if you get any strike, you lose your live streaming privileges for, I think, a week. And then, and if you get 3, then they just delete your account, because I guess that's fair. If you've done something wrong 3 times, you clearly haven't learned. But the problem is that I can get a copyright strike even if I'm right. And that's where, there is nowhere in here do I have the opportunity to actually appeal to YouTube. All I can do is appeal to the copyright owner, and they are not the copyright owner. This is why this system is completely broken. Yeah, Chris is saying, to remain neutral, YouTube always gives the control to whoever makes the copyright claim. They do this, say they're on top of copyright laws, and then they don't actually care, right? So, I would love this. Is it possible to get someone from YouTube's legal department to come on live with you? I doubt it. I feel like lawyers don't like to say things off the cuff without having, a chance to write them down and be very clear about what they're saying. I would love to also get somebody from Artlist to talk about this, because I would love to see what they get on their side for dealing with this. Okay. Gonna pause again. Did my LUT disappear? I don't think so. Jules says, from the time wasted, it would be better to collaborate with a composer and end all of this. I know. So I was actually thinking, that it would be really fascinating to see what the whole process is like from the musician side and on the label side. And the way to do that would be create songs, get them published somewhere, ideally create a publishing label so that I can get the publisher's tools, not just the artist's tools. And then also build up a library of music that I can use myself. The problem with that is if I'm hiring people to make music, there's a couple interesting things happen. If it's a work for hire, then the person who hired the musician owns the copyright. So that is not what's happening with Artlist in these places. These places are places where an artist can publish their music for use and then get paid for it, which is different from work for hire. So if I hired someone and actually paid them money to write a song, I would then own the copyright to it, which would be kind of cool. However, then the problem is I need to vet that music, because I need to be sure that they haven't reused things that they weren't supposed to in creating the music. So that would be, it's not as simple as just hiring someone, because I need to then go vet them to make sure that they're not reusing clips or sending their own songs or variations of their own songs to other platforms. Time to do your own music again. I know. Well, so I don't know. I haven't actually talked about this in a while, but several years ago now, I did a little experiment where I wrote a short sketch. I don't want to say song, every day for 100 days in a row. And it was an experiment to get back into writing music. I used to do a fair bit of it a long time ago. And this was an attempt to get me unstuck from trying to be a perfectionist. So this link, I'll post this in the chat. What I did here was they're all 30 to 90 seconds, so they're not long, album length songs by any means, but they are. I did this partly so I could use it in videos, so I could have my own library of things where when I needed 10 seconds of music to be able to go and drop an intro song somewhere. And I don't even know which of these is a good one. Probably my browser's just not going to play them anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then as part of that, I also either made videos or made videos or did little animations or something for them. Why did my browser decide to crap out right now? Anyway, this library is also, I decided to license it under Creative Commons so anybody can use it. And it's kind of fun to see where it pops up. People have used it in podcasts and stuff. So one thing I could do is go back to this collection and extend them all out and turn them into, full length songs so I can actually use them in countdowns and stuff, which would be pretty fun, but a whole project. Okay. Pause. I'm going to take a pause. So a lot of good comments coming in the chat. Let's see. Oh yeah, here's a good point. Even if you hire the musician, own the copyright, vetted it, and put it into the content ID database, and then use it, you still run into this issue because Streambeats is doing exactly that. They've hired a bunch of people to create songs for their own library, and then people who don't own the copyrights use it and then claim content ID on it. So you have to also go to the trouble of properly registering it in content ID, which I think you only get those tools if you are big enough of a publisher. Then you get the right tools to actually go and prove that you're the actual copyright owner. So yeah. Oh, Chris, thank you. I had no idea that you were using them. That's awesome. I use some of them and I credit you for it. Thanks. Yeah, all I ask for that is just credit. It's Creative Commons, so attribution. So mention that the music is by me down in the credits somewhere. They're fun. Some of them are weird. Some of them are not useful. Some of them are kind of fun. Whatever. It was a good project. Okay. Yeah. So let's take a break here, actually, because I have some other very exciting news. I do want to talk about total change of subject. I do want to also talk about this, which is now available. So we're going to take a break and I'm going to show you a quick little video clip to announce it. And I'm going to talk about the new cage for the YoloBox and show you where you can find it. And then we're going to come back to the content ID stuff and wrap that up. So here is the intro to the new YoloBox cage. Okay, yeah, check this out. So we've been working on this for a little while, and this is now finally actually available to purchase. This is the cage for the YoloBox, made out of brand new aluminum bars instead of only the 3D printed parts. I'm super excited about doing this because it is super, super strong to be able to actually use these and attach stuff to it. So you can find this at PK1.tv. The link should be live now. So let me drop that in the chat again, though. The link should be live, and this is available from a few different places around the world. They are shipping starting now. So the kit comes with, there's a little flat lay down here, which gives you actually everything in the box. The kit comes with a top handle and this plate on the bottom, which lets you attach it to a tripod. So, and then a bunch of other screws for like assembling it and attaching things to the sides. The bottom plate, we actually got these cheese plates made that are essentially very, very similar, if not identical, to what is happening with my camera. I don't understand why that happened. Oh, I know what's happening. This app is taking over. I need to stop this. I need to turn off autoplay on this. That is what is happening. I had this live app controlling the stream, and it was doing things to it. So every time I switched to that camera, it thought it was connected to it, and there it is. Okay, input 8. It was set to the wrong input. Let's come back to the overhead camera, and now it shouldn't trigger. So this bottom cheese plate is similar, if not identical, to the Smallrig one, but we just got them made ourselves. And this is so that you can attach it to a tripod. So you can actually screw in to these little, these are 1/4 inch, and then there's a 3/8. So if you have a large screw or an adapter, you can go into the middle one, but you can also go into these here with a tripod. Probably you want a real tripod and not the little tiny one, but that's what I've got on my desk. And then that bolts to the aluminum, so it's like super strong, not going anywhere. It doesn't actually attach to the YoloBox, it attaches to the aluminum here. And then you've got this handle on the top with little cold shoes. And the cold shoes are fun because you can slip things into them, like microphone receivers, or wireless HDMI, or whatever you want. The kit also, separately, you can get 2 additional handles. And then there's also these little wire managers. So the kit comes with 2 wire managers. I don't have them attached here right now, but they attach onto the back like that. And that, or anywhere. I mean, they go into the little notch. And then you can, that's to like keep your cables at bay a little bit. You put a little nut into the track that attaches. So it comes with 2, and you can buy more of these as well separately if you want. Yeah, so I'm super excited about these stands. So at some point I am going to get on my bike, do a live stream from a YoloBox in this cage, and that'll be a fun adventure. So keep an eye out for that on the channel. But in the meantime, these are available now, and we put a lot of work into it, so I'm pretty excited about it. Yeah, cool. What else? Anything else about that? Yeah, so you can see they're kind of different from the desktop one. The desktop one has only 1 bar, aluminum bar, tilts it at an angle. This one is not meant for desk use, obviously. This is meant for tripod use. But I heard a lot of people wanting to put it on tripods, and this is the one for that. So looks like a Camvate cheese plate. They probably use the same factory, honestly. Check this out. So this one is the Smallrig one. Focus. This is a Smallrig one. This is ours. We just asked this factory to make them and then, you know, etch the logo onto it. But I think they make the Smallrig ones too. Because they're pretty much the same. Interestingly, Smallrig didn't put their logo on theirs. I'm not sure why. But yeah, it turns out if you just like want a couple hundred of these, you can just get a factory to make them for you, which is kind of fun. Which app was that so that we know what to look out for? Oh, that was Live app. So if I can show you the app. I've been using this for drawing on the screen, but it also has a couple of other things like this whole video queue section where you can queue up video clips, and it will when you plug in HDMI or connect it wirelessly over AirPlay, what you do is you tell it what input on the ATEM it's connected to. So you can say this is connected into input 8, and then so it's watching the ATEM status, and when video queue is set to autoplay, if you switch to input 8, this will then start playing the clip. It will also change the settings in the ATEM to make it work, because for video queue you want it to cut to that angle for video playback, but for overlay or for the draw setting, which I don't know why it is not. I want to stop playing that. Stop. Okay. So on the draw page, if I want to just like draw stuff, then it needs to obviously not cut to that angle. It needs to do a key so that I can key it on top of the video. So it will actually change settings in the ATEM to match based on what it is doing because it knows what inputs it's on. And I had said it wrong because at home I have this plugged into input 6, but here I have it plugged into input 8. And my overhead camera here is on input 6. So when I switched to the overhead camera, this was like, oh, that must mean you want to play a video. So I'm going to go ahead and play that video now. And then it would, when the video was done, it would just be a black screen. So that was the problem. That was the problem. So yeah, I needed to fix it. I needed to turn off autoplay first of all, and fix what input it's connected to so that it knows when it's on air properly. Which is like, I get why they did that, and it's a cool feature to like have this thing sort of take over the ATEM and control things in it. But I will say it has tripped me up a few times because I often forget that it is that it's doing that, and I forget that it's in control. I'm used to things being a little bit less smart than that, but it does make it easy to set up. That's why you should have a unified setup. Yeah, if I did have the same setup in the two places, that would be a lot simpler. But no, the home setup is much, much smaller scale. It's just a couple of cameras and Chromecast and the iPad, basically. Yeah, Alibaba and AliExpress have a bunch of these resellers and factory sellers of these cheese plates. Yeah, makes sense. Okay. Yeah. Oh, one other thing that I thought was really cool. The you may have noticed in that header shot on the of the stand, I've got a camera up on top because I realized that if you take the Smallrig monitor mounts, it actually comes with screws that don't work. So the screws that it comes with are too big. Let's see, it's these. So it comes with the regular like tripod 1/4-inch screws, right? So that'll screw into the cheese plate, for example. Obviously you wouldn't do this, but that's the type of screw that is. This is actually physically too large to fit into the channel. Focus, there we go. So too large to fit into that, but if you use these smaller screws instead, these fit into here, into the little T-nut, and it fits in the Smallrig thing. So it'll drop into the Smallrig mount right there, and then it goes into the channel with the little nut underneath it, and then you get this really solid connection of the monitor mount attached to the aluminum bar, not moving anywhere. And then you can use it with the like put a camera up there, even though it's called a monitor mount, but it's just a tripod screw on top, so you can attach a camera with that as well, which is pretty fun, I think. And this was based on how I was, remember when I was doing the live stream from the bridge, when I had that sort of hodgepodge of stuff connected to the YoloBox, I didn't really have a good rig for it. So now this is gonna be a lot easier to like assemble and keep track of. Did I see a question about that? T channel bar is a really nice choice. Thanks. Yeah, I think so too. I could have sworn, oh, here it is from Chris. Does that stand work with the old YOLO Pro? It's only for the YoloBox Pro, not the small YoloBox. So it is only the large one. We don't actually have a version of this for the small one, because I personally think the future of the YoloBox is in the Pro model. Okay, so that was fun. Let's go back to copyright nonsense. So I see a bunch of chat about the copyright situation here, which is lovely. Let's see what I can get to. Yeah, Streambeat said that it's too easy to create a content ID claim without having the claimant to prove it. I agree. It's completely messed up. Oh, a law tuber I follow is dealing with a copyright issue because YouTube is claiming copyright on court streams where the courts themselves have not granted copyright to any networks. Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh, this is a good tip. I'll take a look at this one. Video from Rick Beato, how I fixed my copyright strike takedowns. Orchard is a true troll. Did a search on YouTube for Orchard Music, and it looks like they have made false claims going back years. Search the Orchard Music false copyright claims, how to deal. I did see that one. Yeah. Yeah, there should be a minimum hurdle to initiate a copyright claim, and any revenue generated for a fraudulent claim should be recovered. 100%. I think that the system should also work in reverse, where if they send a copyright claim that then ends up being fake, like in this case, Orchard should be penalized for that. They shouldn't just get out of this with no consequences. Like they should actually get the opposite of a copyright strike, which is a notice that says they are filing fake copyright claims because they don't have the rights to it. Yeah. This is a good point. For music, I use YouTube's free music library, and I have no more worries. Yeah, that is probably a very, very safe way to go because YouTube has clearly done the work to make sure that those songs are not going to get content ID claims because they can do that because they are YouTube. Graham says, isn't it possible to sue the people who have falsely claimed the copyright for damages? You or Artlist should be able to do this. I believe so. And it's not like I have no interest in hiring a lawyer myself, mainly because I'm already paying Artlist for the plan, and it is obviously affecting more than just me. So their lawyers are on it. Like their lawyers are dealing with this now, and thankfully, like they have lawyers and can fight it. And this is clearly like, you know, affecting all of their customers and affects their reputation because someone just showed up and claimed to own one of their songs in their library. It's lovely. Yeah. Yep. Dora should have attended your live stream so she could have sat on your lap for calming. Yeah. Okay, I'm scrolling back up through the chats here. Oh, 7:30 p.m. Yeah, my I'm just pretending I'm on European time right now. So, oh yeah, here was a good point from Sven. YouTube was ignoring the rights of the music industry for years and rightfully got lots of stress for that. I agree. So to make up for this, they implemented this mechanism which prefers to trust the copyright holders more. And if they hadn't offered this, they probably would have been sued out of existence. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I'm not saying that there should be no system for it, because clearly there should be, because clearly there are a lot of people who post YouTube videos with copyrighted songs they don't have licenses to, and should not, and those should be taken down and dealt with. It's just that they seem to have built this assuming that copyright owners are always acting in good faith, which is, as we are seeing, 100% not true. I've gotten copyright claims on original music from people who have no connection to the artist or publishers who represent them. Seems like copyright squatting. That's also super weird. Yes. What was your weirdest claim ever? I've used really exotic instruments from Freesound in my video, and they claimed me with music that consisted of the exact same sample. Ugh, that's annoying. Thankfully, I haven't had too many to deal with. Really, I think it was the only other one was at least the only other one I remember off the top of my head right now is the one where that one artist who does post on Artlist also posted a sort of duplicate of that song on another platform. So it got flagged from the other library thinking I was using their version of it, but I was using the Artlist version, and it did get cleared up. I had an instance a year ago or so where a group claimed my video because of the music a friend of mine published, disputed it, and eventually they dropped the claim. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, Anomaly says, I'm so cranky about this, but I'm such a small channel that at most I'm losing like 50 cents of ad revenue from these claims. I'm just cranky about it. I'm super cranky about it. I am more upset about the premise of what's going on here, and that is like, the claim that I got on my channel, I do get, I don't know, $10 or $20 or something from ad revenue on the streams after the first week, but then it like drops off. And this was a video from a year ago that I got the claim on, and like, also that should be a thing. Like, what YouTube sees is a new album was published, and then somehow a year ago video is sent a content ID claim. That doesn't make sense, because how could I have gone back in time to use a new song? And I get that there's some wiggle room, right? But like, I feel like a year is enough where they should know that that is not possible. If your channel isn't monetized, do the strikes mean as much if you monetize your site in the eyes of YouTube? So yeah, if we go back to the content ID process, let's see. So back to this. What can I do if my video has a content ID claim? If you agree, you can. So here's the one that says share revenue. If you're in the partner program, you may be able to share the revenue. If you are not, you can just leave it, right? So like, if you are not in the partner program and you don't do anything, then essentially they monetize your video, and otherwise nobody would have monetized it because you're not in the partner program. So you don't have, I guess you don't have to dispute it if you're not in the partner program, because it's not hurting you, right? And if you dispute it, then you get into the possibility of having them reject the dispute and then getting a strike, which you definitely don't want, even if you're not monetized, because a strike is bad all the time. That's why it's called a strike. That's going to pour 4 or 5 fingers. Is that a full glass of bourbon? No, it's a cocktail. It is a cocktail, not straight bourbon. It is a bourbon cocktail, though. Okay. Oh my gosh, some more chats. Oh, I did want to actually play the song for you to trigger a copyright claim on this stream because I think it would be funny and it will also get resolved. I do have faith this will get resolved. In fact, I actually want to show you first what it looks like when you upload a video in case you're not familiar with this. So let's go, let's see. Where's my video clip? Yeah. I have created a video, a version of that little video of the YoloBox Cage, and I put the song that I got the content ID claim as the music for that song. And I'm going to upload it to YouTube to show you what happens. So if I go to the upload tab, YouTube recently added this cool feature, which is a copyright search before you actually make it public. Come on, Chrome. My browser is just not happy right now. You can do it. I believe in you. Oh my gosh, am I going to have to restart my computer? Perfect example of why I don't like computers. I should be able to restart my computer and the stream isn't going to be affected other than the chat messages because of how I've got it set up. But this is really frustrating. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and restart. And I'm just going to lose the chat overlay for a second, but yes. Restart. Maybe Chrome will play videos after that. Okay. While that is going, I can at least look through the I can't look through the chats because they're on my computer. I can look through the chats on my iPad. I like how I was like, oh, I'm just going to go pull up my computer tab and look at the chats. But no, that's not gonna work. So my keyboard is in German. Where is my chat? Is my computer starting back up? It seems awful quiet over there. I'm gonna have to like force quit it. Okay. Yeah, lovely. Is that enough seconds? There we go. Okay. Now it's booting back up. So I don't know. This whole thing is just a mess. And yeah, I am talking to Artlist, like I said, like they are going to, I do have complete faith they're going to be able to resolve this. Clearly it is not only my problem. Clearly this problem is affecting a lot of other creators. So they have definitely interest in solving this. So I'm not like worried about my particular videos getting the claims. I'm not worried about the revenue from a year-old live stream. That's not at all a concern. I just am very upset that this is even possible, and very upset at Orchard Music for being completely unreasonable, frankly, and not really understanding what music they're representing, right? They should know better about what music they're representing and the fact that maybe sometimes these are not things that they own, and maybe some of their own artists are might have done something wrong. Maybe just that's a possibility, right? So anyway, okay, my computer's coming back slowly. Is my chat back? It is. It looks like you started the room rearranging, kind of. Things are kind of disorganized here right now. Yes, there should be a case of considering prior art. Yeah, and not even the prior art. It's just like, literally if the song is a new song, it's not possible for it to have existed at some point. Like there's some wiggle room of like, maybe it's a couple of months, but yeah. Somehow the content ID system of YouTube won't let you upload copyrighted content on Chrome. New feature. Yeah. Why is the image more flat after you turn off your computer? That's concerning. So the computer is feeding the, oh, it's because the Ultra Studio, which is doing the chat, when it's disconnected from the computer, I don't actually know what it sends out. It may not be sending out a perfect black. Thank you for the super chat contribution for the swear box fund. Well, this live stream is about to get demonetized, so I appreciate the super chats in advance. Okay. Sometimes a reboot midstream is a beautiful thing, gets the job done. Copyright claims, Lily's pharmaceutical thing this week has been computer issues. Yeah, this has been a week. I'm noticing with our M1 Mac Mini running 12, I'm needing to force quit more often. Interesting. I did upgrade this to what is it called now? Monterey 12.2. Oh, so I should install. There's a patch I need to install. Okay, so I was trying to upload a video to YouTube. So let's see if I can do this again. See if I can find my video. It's on. No, it's on. Where is it? Oh, it's on the drive I unplugged when I rebooted the computer. Oh my gosh. Okay. That drive is plugged back in. Hopefully it finds it. And then we can upload a video. Give me a break. Come on. Mount the drive. And then I'm going to play it for you in YouTube, which should work since I rebooted my computer. I don't know why. If I go back here and try to plug this in, why won't the drive plug in? Come on. This is just going great. This is just lovely. Okay, I need a different USB cable. Try it up here. Come on. There it is. Okay. So in here, I have YoloBox Cage with that song. So what I want to show you is what happens when you upload a video, because there's this new tab up here called checks, and it's actually really useful. Uploading, processing will begin shortly. This is a very short video, so it's not going to take very long. Processing, monetization, let's go ahead and turn it on. Then I have to go and say, there is nothing wrong with my video, nothing not allowed. Okay, video elements, I'm not going to bother. Checks. This is the cool thing. They just added this where during the upload process, it will now run it through content ID and see if there's any flagged content. And sure enough, copyright claim found, your video is ineligible for monetization. It found Travis Nelson's outro instead of the other one on behalf of Orchard Music. So can't be monetized. And at least now you get to know ahead of time, which is useful. So if I do this, it just turns monetization off. So now, like, I just don't get to monetize. I can still upload it, and then they get the ad revenue for it. I don't want to publish it publicly. But we're going to publish that unlisted. And now if I go to the video, here it is. You can hear that, right? In stereo too. Got the stereo working. It kind of works. I didn't edit that video to that music at all, so it was meant to be synced up to the other song. But that was 20 seconds of the Quirky Hipster song that is on this live stream now. So yeah. Oh, interesting. Oh, Darren, thank you for the super chat for your new bourbon mediation arrangement. Cheers. So, thanks for that. Graham asks, weren't we meant to see ads with it? I pay for YouTube Premium, so I don't see ads. So if I'm watching videos that are monetized, instead of ads, the part of the money that I'm paying goes to the video creator. So I just gave them $1 or a cent or whatever it is that they get from that view, which is silly. Jules says, I can make this kind of music for you, a dime a dozen. We should talk. Maybe I will start a little record label for publisher for creators. A dime a dozen sounds like a fantastic price for me. Probably not for you though. 12 songs for a dime. But we should talk because I have been thinking about it. It would be interesting. And yeah, Emerald Audiovisuals making a very good point. Creators get more money from premium users than from users watching ads. This is something good to know. And I feel like this is actually really interesting because it's not necessarily obvious. Because like YouTube Premium is like what, $15 or $18 a month or something. So it's not that much in terms of what I'm paying. And then somehow when I'm watching videos, I'm actually giving them more money than if I were not in paying for premium and only giving them the ad revenue. So not to like give YouTube, not to like say everybody should go pay YouTube, but it does support the creators more if you have a YouTube Premium, plus you don't get ads. $17.99 for a family. Okay, cool. Yeah. I don't have the family one, so I guess it's $15. I forget actually what I pay. Wait, so you can dispute it before it's published? I don't think you can dispute it. It just flat out says you can't monetize it. There was no dispute in that. But now that it's uploaded, oh wait, I did see this. Did I see this screen before? Now I want to go through that flow again. Let's just do it again. Because yeah, I know I'm curious. So if I do that and then let it upload, I'm going to try to monetize it. This one I'm not actually going to publish. Okay, nothing in there, and then no video elements. And then we're going to let it run the checks, and then we're going to see what happens. Okay, still processing, running the checks. It's a good thing this video is very short. Copyright found. Copyright claim found. See details. Oh, I can dispute it. That is good. So what happens if I click this? Interesting. It doesn't have a URL, or it does have a URL, but it's in draft mode. Huh. I have a license. I have permission from the copyright owner. And I have to describe it. I I'm not going to actually do this, but that is fascinating because this is not actually published. If I go just like X out of this, it's saved as a draft video, which means I'm really curious what they see on their end when it shows up as a dispute. If anybody has access to the publisher tools, I would love to like bring you on and share what that looks like from the other side. But it is, but yeah, it's a different system than the YouTube Studio for creators, and so I don't have access to it. Ben says, I guess the idea is that an old offline song from many years ago may just be registered as copyright owner today. Think about classic music. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem, is that anybody can go take a recording. Also, copyright's interesting because there's two different things being copyrighted in music. There's the underlying music, like the concept of the song, and then there's an actual recording, an expression of the song. And those are separate copyrights. So this is why you end up hearing about like celebrities with, you know, major musicians in bizarre copyright disputes with their labels because of who owns which parts of the copyright. But so classical music, obviously, like that's all public domain at this point, but you can still have a copyright on a recording of a classical song and it's legitimate. So a symphony that performs a song today will own the copyright of their performance of the song, not of the underlying music. So anybody else can perform the same music and they will own their own performance of it. And the problem is that like YouTube's content ID doesn't really understand that concept. They're really only based around matching recordings. And if two symphonies perform the music and it's close enough, it may very well trigger content ID. So that's also wrong. So that's a tough one because like I don't even know how they could solve that really, right? Because it is possible for someone to infringe the copyright of a classical piece today because the recording's new, and that is copyright infringement if they rebroadcast a new recording of a classical song. It's interesting. Okay, so here's some detail on that. You can dispute it, but as Andy mentioned, none of those are visible for channels under 1,000 subscribers. That is interesting. And I feel like this is, again, one of those, like, YouTube is assuming that if you don't have very many subscribers, you may not know what you're doing. So they're not going to give you the right tools to fight copyright claims because they're just assuming you're wrong, which is like probably correct in 90% of the cases and then incorrect in 10%, right? So they're just playing a stats game on that one, which is unfortunate. I'm sure once you get up to the like 1 million subscribers, there's again other things you can do because you start actually talking to people at YouTube directly. I do not have a YouTube contact, so I don't get to any fancy tools. Chris says, I constantly have people trying to make copyright claims against us playing public domain songs, likely because once they performed a variation of a song and created the content ID. Exactly. Yeah. And there are some recordings that are public domain too, right? Like a recording that was made 100 years ago. That's probably a bad example. Actually, 100 years ago is getting to not be that long ago. 1920s music. 1920s recording. That exists. A recording made 100 years ago is public domain now. So that is fine to broadcast. But if someone performed that music, which the underlying music is also public domain, then the person who used the public domain recording will incorrectly get a content ID match. And that is something where, like, that is not something a computer can solve. That needs someone, a mediator, which it should not be assumed that either one of those parties is obviously correct. So that is tough. That is tough. My videos are unlisted. Recordings of lectures got a copyright claim once on a clip a lecturer used with permission. A documentary maker claimed they'd use the same clip. See, this is the thing, is that, like, just because you post a video on YouTube does not mean that you own the copyright to everything in that video, because that's actually not that common. Like a lot of videos are created with things that are licensed, and the copyright and the person who posted the video has a license to post it, but doesn't own the copyright. So like, you know, if I use stock video from Storyblocks or whatever, I have a license to use that in my videos. And then if somebody else used the same clips, Content ID might be flagging it as my video, but that's a whole different story. Pre-1923 sound recordings are public domain. Thank you for clarifying. Yeah. Oh, there are cases where something 100 years ago can still be copyrighted as long as the original copyrights were extended. Extending copyrights, I don't even, yeah. 100 years ago is probably public domain unless you're the Disney Corporation. Exactly. Disney just locks down everything and they just get copyright extended for them. So, we're not even going to go here, but Rick says, a little off topic, but the same issue you're describing has plagued several new NFT offerings. If you think the law isn't fair to you, it's terrible for NFTs. Not even going to go into NFTs because I would need 3 more of these to deal with that topic. But yeah, I guess it's the same problem. Anybody can show up and publish an NFT regardless of where that artwork came from, and for some reason, everybody in that community assumes that the code is correct and there is no possible way the code can be wrong, and people do not do bad things, which is not how you build a system. So that's all we're gonna say about that. Yeah. That is just thinking about that is raising my blood pressure. Okay, we're done with that. Nova the Wildcraft says, hello, I'm new here. Thank you for joining. Rick, you almost turned this into a 3-hour-long episode. Shouldn't we then start to do massive campaigns on using copyleft licenses for our works to emphasize we're sick of it all? I mean, it depends, because like, I don't think copyright is necessarily bad because people make stuff and should be able to earn money from it. That's not necessarily a problem. The problem is that essentially the system is rigged for assuming copyright owners, which is, again, that phrasing on the YouTube docs, assuming that the only person who would send a dispute is a copyright owner, which is not true because at this point they are claiming to be the copyright owner. They are not proven to be the copyright owner. This language is wrong, and this is what I mean by the system is rigged. Like, YouTube has literally not thought about the fact that someone may abuse the copyright content ID system. And we've seen that is clearly happening. Yes. Okay. Here. I'm gonna send you over to Anomaly's channel. I have a forthcoming video about astrology to NFT pipeline. So she will be able to express opinions about NFTs. That way I don't have to. And that whole thing is fascinating from even just a little bit I've heard of it already. So, okay. Where were we? Martine says, not a question. Just want to let you know I did this first live stream yesterday, had a 1.3K viewers. That's a lot of viewers. 2.K instances, an average watch time of 8 minutes for a 3.5-hour ice skating live stream. That's amazing. Congratulations. That is a lot of viewers. You should get a days until I needed to restart my studio gear flip in one frame. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Well, cool. Was there anything else that I wanted to cover in this? Now let me see if I forgot. I do have. Oh, I should see if my video got flagged. Now that I played that song. Oh yeah, there was one more thing. So, okay, first of all, let's take a look at my YouTube studio and see, has this stream got a content ID match? Not yet. I bet you by the time I bet you 24 hours from now, it's going to get a content ID flag for that song. Although I only played 20 seconds of it. So maybe I should try to play a little bit more of it just to poke the bear. But no, there was one more thing I wanted to mention, which was, so again, Artlist, like I use Artlist. The song is from Artlist. I am not at all faulting them. They've been amazing. They've been like very good about dealing with all of this for me. I don't have to worry about it. Like I know that they're going to get this handled. The one thing that I noticed as I was like preparing for this is that song seems to be gone from their website, which is interesting. I went through my download history to look because I downloaded that song back in, I think it was literally last night. I looked at this and I should have screenshotted the page. But I went through my download history. I've apparently downloaded a lot of music. And that video that was flagged on my channel was from February 14th. So I downloaded it before then. And it was part of, I think it was in December. It was part of like this batch of songs I was downloading. And it's not in my list of downloads anymore. And I had saved the link in my notes. I was like, okay, I'm gonna, yeah, it's in my notes. And I click on the link and it just like, it's like broken. It just doesn't do anything. There's nothing is showing up. And there's like a JavaScript error in the console. Cannot read properties of undefined song ID. So like, they just apparently pulled the song. I think what's happening is like, this is serious and they don't want people to be downloading this now and like getting content ID claims on new content that they're from music they're getting from Artlist, because that makes Artlist look bad, which is why like I know they're taking it seriously, because it is really, really bad. Because especially with YouTube's new pre-check thing, like, you know, if I had no idea any of this was happening and I was like, oh, I like that song, let me download it, put it in my video, and then YouTube pre-flight check is like, oh, content ID claim, I'd be like, why am I paying Artlist? Right? So they just apparently pulled the song. So that's bad. Places like Artlist and Stream Beats take songs down temporarily. They get too many flags while they're dealing with the false claims. It is. Yeah, I agree. It's a good way to limit the issues because it's like an ongoing issue and it's going to take a while to get resolved. Yeah, Artlist decided not to poke the bear. Streambeat still lists songs like that on Spotify, but with a stroke through the title and you can't play it. That's interesting. That must mean Spotify has some sort of copyright dispute thing. Christian asks, should you move the claim videos to unlisted temporarily so they don't have money out of this? No, unlisted videos can still be monetized. They just don't get published. They just don't get pushed out in the algorithm. So the unlisting them won't change anything. But okay, so there is this whole thing in the process of like essentially escrow, and I'm trying to find where that was described. So monetization during content ID disputes. Here's the page. Videos can earn money during a dispute if both the video creator and the content ID claimant want to monetize the video. You can dispute a claim at any time. If you dispute within 5 days, we'll hold revenue from the video starting with the first day the claim was placed. If you dispute after 5 days, we'll start holding revenue the date the dispute is made. So this stream is going to earn some, God, I wonder if they hold the superchats too. That would be wrong. We'll find out. But the ad revenue from this, if I don't dispute it, because I honestly don't want to, because I don't want them to be able to reject the dispute. Like I want Artlist lawyers to fight with their lawyers so that they give it up. Okay, seriously, my computer is just not having a good time. The drive just got disconnected. It's just sitting right there. Okay, if I don't do anything, or if I wait 5 days before I dispute, then they will hold revenue the date that this dispute is made. What's the difference there? The dispute. So that means the person who, I guess, presumably claimed content ID would get the revenue from the first 5 days, which is not great. Throughout the dispute process, we'll hold the revenue separately, and once the dispute is resolved, we'll pay it out to the appropriate party. What's also, again, interesting in here is that there is nothing in this that talks about what happens if the person that filed the claim is wrong if I didn't dispute it. That's missing in this. So, like, if I don't want to dispute it because I don't want them to be able to say I'm wrong. I don't want them to reject my dispute. I want the lawyers to deal with it. So if they claim it and then the lawyers go and they like give up their claim, what happens? It's not described here. So lovely. Emerald says, no, it's not a copyright thing. The artist can temporarily suspend a song on Spotify. Ah, okay. I mean, it's probably for, it sounds like it's exactly for copyright purposes, but yeah, the artist can suspend a song on Spotify, meaning it'll show up in the list, but not be playable. That's interesting. I still think you went back in time with the DeLorean and published the video. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. No point in getting more users in trouble and creating a spike in support requests. Exactly. Like, I'm sure they are going to be getting a lot of emails about this song because of how many places it's popping up right now. So, yeah. If you won't end a stream, then they'll won't launch their bots against you. So for live only channels, maybe we should never end and play placeholders between weekly shows. Just one long 24/7 live stream. I mean, that's an option, right? 24/7 music channels are totally a thing. I could just like come in Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific and interrupt the music stream. Fun, yeah. So, okay. Change of topic. We're getting close to the end of time here. Change of topic. Will you have time near the end to answer not copyright issues, but more like OBS audio related? Don't want to hijack the topic right now. Go ahead. I thought that was a question, but I guess there was no question in there, but please go ahead and drop a question. Ali says, have you changed your audio setup? It needs an extra 2 frames of delay. I thought it was only 1 frame, and I did change it recently. The mic is going directly into the XR18. The camera is the GH5S. And I forgot to add the audio delay to compensate for that camera because the Blackmagic one has less delay than the GH5S. So, yeah. You're not poking a bear, you are poking a fox. I agree. That only works until you get a power outage. It'd be fun to set up a 24/7 stream with redundancy to make sure it can just keep going. Also, I should just play that song as background music right now because I can, and I own the license to it. License, not the song itself. I own the license to it. And I am allowed to play this song on my streams or other people's streams that I am running because that is what my contract says. So we're going to find that song and let it play in the background here. Let's see. Am I still hooked up? Yes. Okay, cool. I like the song. We'll turn it down a little bit while I look at some other questions. Interesting quick review of Orchard Music. It's a Google support thread. Why can't I get my mouse to click the message? There it is. Orchard Music is claiming copyright on my own songs and contesting everything. Wow. Okay, that's lovely. So they're really dirty. In that case, I want to look at that, but I can't actually copy the link from here for some reason. Oh yes, I can. That page is here. I am the composer and artist of the songs I'm uploading on my channel. Unfortunately, a lot of the songs have been claimed by the Orchard Music. I've never heard of them, and they are not in my country. They have no contract with me nor any other producers. I disputed everything and they challenged it again. I have documents to prove that I'm the only one who has copyright for these songs. Some of the videos being with me in concert and the video being filmed by my own team. Oh. Stop. I don't know what that other song is. Also an Artlist song. Okay, that was a close one. This is crazy. Can somebody please explain how I can stop them from doing this? This is a mess. So this is 2020. Yeah. So I agree with this statement. Sue them, and the good news is Artlist is dealing with it, and they are going to sue them. So that's, or I don't know if they're going to sue them. They're fighting it. They're doing something with them. So yeah. Really, how can you call it fair when you get a warning from a live stream, you delete the video, and then you cannot contest it because you deleted the video? Can you please do a stream on that someday? Yeah, well, this is kind of what I was getting at. Is it like, so I just played that song. It's probably going to trigger a content ID claim on this stream. I am not going to cut out that song, and I'm not going to cut it out of the video. Like, I don't want to let them think they're right. I want to make sure that they get properly like penalized for doing that. YouTube needs to do a full embargo ban on Orchard Music for all Alphabet platforms, period. I agree. It seems like if they are doing this for multiple years, then like they are the ones at fault. This is their problem. They should not be allowed on the platform. Like, YouTube can ban creators for whatever they want. They should be able to also ban publishers for whatever they want. They can do whatever they want. I don't have any problem with that. Like, they're not obligated to host any particular person or music or creator, and they should not be obligated to host copyright scammers. Maybe we can get you to produce YouTube shorts for all of our channels, all with the same music. I guess that is technically true. Like, I can use these Artlist songs in client work. So as long as it's client work, I can use these songs and they can get published wherever. Yeah. So lovely. Okay. Yeah, we're going to wrap this up. Let's just go check my YouTube studio and see if this has been flagged yet. Let's reload. Not yet. Probably when I end it, it'll probably trigger a match. So wish me luck. Thank you, Artlist, for dealing with this, because yeah, it's, I'm glad I don't have to hire a lawyer myself to deal with this, but I hope, I really, really hope that Artlist can like give them a proper slap on the wrist, because they are clearly doing something wrong. Like, they are clearly not correct in this. There is no question. They cannot claim an Artlist song is their own. So, yeah. So we're going to end there. I should have queued this up as my outro music. I don't really have a way to like properly do that. So we're just going to let it play out. And then I am going to switch to my credit music instead. Yeah, there should be a class action stream against Orchard. I agree. It sounds like at this point it sounds like they deserve it, because that is not by any means acceptable. I didn't realize how deep it had gone either. Like, yeah. Anyway, this was fun. Thanks for listening to me rant. I didn't quite make it through all of this, but I will finish this later. And yeah, thanks for joining. I hope you learned something. Let me know if you have questions. Leave questions down in the comments, because yeah, there's a lot more to this, obviously. Loop it. I completely forgot to actually cue it up as my outro music, so we're gonna get the actual normal outro music instead. Here we go. Thank you for the super chats. This was a lot of fun. This is, yeah, I'll let you know how this goes. Hopefully this gets resolved. I do really think that it's not going to be a problem. I'm sure Artlist is going to deal with it properly, because they do have teams to fight this stuff. So yeah. This stuff is just, yeah, there's a lot to it. And it's not obvious, and it's very frustrating when things go wrong like this, and especially when there's just not that many things you can do. Tell us in Discord how long it took. I will. The Discord, I hang out in John's Discord from Here to Record, so go to his channel. I think I linked his channel down below. Go to his channel. find one of his videos, join the Discord from there, and I will see you there. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.